Hi everyone, I'm very excited to be sitting here with my friend and property manager extraordinaire, Tracy Fields, the founder of Platinum Palms Property Management. The website is
ppmiami.com.
So we're sitting here in a house that he manages, that is in fact owned by a mutual friend who was my client, the buyer of this house. And Tracy's someone I've gotten to know over the course of this house being managed by him. And I've always been extremely impressed, and refreshed with the level of service that he brings here. So in this interview, we're going to talk about his background, which contributes to his unique value add here, and what he's doing now with his service and his pricing model that differentiates him and raises the bar here on certain property management services in Miami.
Yeah. So prior to coming to Miami, I was an Army officer.
For 22 years?
21 years.
21 years.
Yep, 21 years. After the service, got into corporate America, largely focusing in the tech sector on project management and leading project management offices. And then I came to Miami, and this is where kind of our worlds kind of collided.
So you could trust him, everyone. He had security clearance.
Yeah.
He was in the Army.
Yes.
He's not going to steal from your house when you're not here.
This is true. And so the owner of this house, came to me and said, I am so disenfranchised with the experience that I'm having. I have a well-known, pretty well-known property management group that services a few houses there.
True story. I was here for this. We met after he came on board.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. And he was just very disenfranchised. Projects half done, not done right. The house was getting
no communication.
No communication. Nobody would answer the phone. And actually, what was more shocking, because he's a part-time resident, right? Much like most of the folks here, right? He's not here full-time, and he put a lot of trust in them.
Yeah.
And what I was able to witness, as a bystander, was the condition of the house was actually deteriorating. And when the decision was made, when we decided to collaborate and rent the house was, quite frankly, unrentable.
Yeah, there was a lot that had to be done.
Right.
And there were things missing, controllers missing, nobody cared, nobody knew where they were. It was a very Miami story.
Right. And so now you have this very expensive asset sitting idle, and actually it was costing him money. Right. And so that doesn't work for anybody. Right? And so that was really the inception of Platinum Palms Property Management. And this is where I was able to take the experience that I had as a planner, organizer, leader, right? Through my military experience and being a project manager, and being able to combine that with my love and kind of, I've always had a side interest in real estate, dabbled here and there, and done a little bit of investing here and there, owned many houses. But it all came together, right, was I realized that there has to be a better way.
Right, and there should, of course.
Right.
I laugh here because someone's been away for 10 years. This becomes the norm, this kind of subpar, vaguely third world service. And people ask you for recommendations for a property manager, and you're hesitant because you have no one, and you don't want to have ownership of that recommendation.
Right, yeah, you don't want to attach your reputation to somebody with marginal gain.
And they're questionable at best. But the person who managed this house before, who has clients, manages valuable houses. And it's just, where do you go? What's the solution?
Right.
It's a very frustrating process.
It is, and that's like I said, that was the birthplace of Platinum Palms, and we decided to take a completely different approach. It was, I think, there's a little bit of, I'm from the Midwest, right? So there's that Midwest sensibility. There's communication, right? We're using technology, right? Using applications where the homeowner can. It's not phone calls, emails, it's not working through these, we can integrate technology where tasks, improvements, projects, whatever it can all be managed remotely.
And it's trackable.
It's trackable, right? And you can see at any given point, 24/7, where we're at in a project, right? We can, and that I think brings a sense of relief, right? No project goes perfect. We know that, right?
We have lots of moving parts, pieces, workers, whatever. Yeah.
Right, but it's not when problems happen, it's how you approach those problems.
There's opaqueness to the situation or clarity, that's the difference.
Right, and these are really really expensive investments for these homeowners, right? Sometimes it's the most expensive asset that they own. And for it to be in the hands of a stranger, right, that
doesn't answer the phone.
It doesn't answer the phone, right? Like that's really unnerving. And so, like I said, we've set out to change that. And by integrating technology, and again, it's a boutique, right? We're not servicing everybody. We don't say yes to everybody. We're really looking for those people who really have an asset that they care about and they want to see grow with them, with their family, and if they decide to make it an investment to do short-term rentals or long-term rentals, whatever it may be, they can do that knowing full well that their asset is very well protected.
And you do something different with your pricing model as well.
Yeah, so as we were designing the company and as we were working through it, it kept coming up that there was this arbitrary percentage number, right?
A percentage of rent being charged by the property owners.
Right, or some weird percentage that was calculated. And I asked the question, I'm like, who decided on that percentage? There was, I don't know, the industry standard.
It's not that way.
Right, and
Why?
so right, and I decided, I'm like, that doesn't work for me. So why not move to a flat fee model?
Right.
When we're bringing a house on, right? If we decide to work together, we'll do a discovery. We'll determine the scope of work, right? And then I provide it's a monthly flat fee, right? So that does two things. It makes the operating costs of a property very predictable, right? Now, and also, from the realtor standpoint, if you go to rent a house and you work hard to get that client more money, why am I entitled to more of that?
Right.
That doesn't make sense. My work didn't go up.
The work didn't change.
Right.
Yes.
So it helps the realtors.
Right.
It makes them feel more comfortable. The homeowners have a little bit more predictability.
Right.
Right. And that, that helps lock in stability.
Right.
Right. And some months there's a lot of work, some months there's not. But what you can know is that it's going to be even keel all the way through.
Yep. And you also do something, I know, when you present options for repairs.
Right. Yeah. And so, I operate under this, I call it the good, better, best model. And when there is a need, right, there's something that needs to be replaced, or there's a home improvement project, maybe little or big, right? What I like to do is present a good, better, best model. So I take it upon myself, I go out, I get the quotes, I collect requirements, go get quotes, and then I present a good option, a better option, and a best option. And I let the homeowner decide.
Right. It's not like they're somewhere else and from afar, someone says then you must do this.
Right.
With no other options.
One of the homeowners, he said, hey, something was broken, right? And then, hey, okay, fix it. And then he got this bill, and it was laughable. Right? There was no communication. It was just here's the bill, now pay it. And it was, in my opinion, didn't seem quite right.
Right.
You know what I mean? It was laughably high. And he was forced to pay it, right? The system that we use, right, through the application, we'll send you these 3 quotes. You get to decide where you want to spend your money, right? And then I will take your input and then I'll execute on what you decide.
Right. So full transparency, accountability, easy decision making.
Right.
All these things sound like they should be obvious perhaps, but I promise you they are not here.
Right.
This is all part of, he's been here now for 2 years, right?
Right.
And so he wasn't here 20 years ago. This is part of the city's transformation. There are a lot of buyers for this, what I'm calling urban core, single family housing or high value condos. There are people now coming from domestic markets, like New York City is our big feeder jurisdiction. And they are going to be less tolerant of vaguely third world business practices that have persisted here for far too long. Right.
I also think I can also take that the New York model, right, the Chicago model, whatever it may be, the folks that are coming here, not only do I want them to get the communication they want, but I want it done in a way that is presented very professional, but also from a trusted kind of friendly voice, right?
Yes. Right. Not someone you think is ripping you off.
Right, but also I'm not out to just get clients.
Yes.
I'm looking to create partnerships and friendships and build trust. Trust is earned and not given.
100%.
Right? I also know that trust is earned by the tablespoon and lost by the gallon.
Correct.
Right?
Yes.
So what I want to do is, I've seen homeowners lose trust in their property managers very quickly. My job is to come in and earn that trust and show you through, it's not just consistency, but it's stability and transparency. And let's hit the easy button, right?
making it seamless, making it easy, and being impeccable with your word consistently.
Right.
That's the formula.
Yeah, my dad used to say, a man's only as good as his word and his wallet, right?
100% true.
Right? So, I think I've embodied that, and I think, what I say is what I'll do.
It's been, honestly, it's been extremely refreshing working with you.
Thank
It
you.
is not the normal experience here.
Right.
Although, to be fair to you though, too, it's not just the bar here is low. You would be good anywhere.
Sure.
That's just the truth. It's not like you'll be amazing anywhere. You're a very high value, trustworthy person.
Right.
But it's extra special that you're here in Miami because there has been a lack of
Right.
that here.
Yeah, there's definitely a gap in the market, and that's where I think Platinum Homes is really going to come in and take those, the would you call it urban core, right, properties, and really make them shine, right? And when it's time to move on, or it's time to sell, or it's time to upgrade, right? They have an asset that is market ready whenever they want.
Yep, well maintained, no surprises.
Right.
So I have no reservations recommending to my clients who come here from, especially domestic clients come here from elsewhere, which is a headache-free experience. You buy your house, even if it's primary residence, people travel, they're not here, everyone needs help.
Right.
And it's such an asset having you here.
Right. The other thing too, there are, we were joking earlier before this about finding vendors here in Miami.
Right, oh
right?
yes.
Right? The response you always get is, well, good luck.
Same thing.
Right.
Plus, you're recommend a cleaning person. Even for that, you hesitate.
Right.
It's
right. And so what we've done is we have, went out and really worked to find the best vendors in the marketplace. And like you said, all the way from the cleaning lady, all the way up to our general contractors and everything in between. Right. Just the other day, it was here, and it was checking in with the pool company. Right. I set forth the criteria. These are the requirements. Right. Are you meeting those? And even just having that 10-minute conversation, not only does it make the homeowner feel better that, even just something as simple as the pool's well cared for, but our vendors know that,
someone's on top of them.
Right, somebody's on top of them, but that we are paying attention, right? And we're checking in.
Yep.
And they know that through that, we have built really strong relationships. Right. And they know what my expectations are, and they know they're high.
And that's a very valuable thing to have.
Right.
And it's a different vibe with the contractor than when they know that it's a remote owner.
Right.
And the property manager's on top of it.
Right.
You get very different results.
Right. I don't, I've even seen some property managers getting, referral fees or kickbacks from these vendors.
Yes.
Right. I don't do that. Right. I want a strong team. Not only in the Army, but in corporate America, building strong teams is like the foundation. And that's what I really think we've done. And that is what I think is going to make the difference for somebody who's looking to maintain a nice property.
Couldn't agree more. I think this is a very long Miami thing. This is a great thing that you're here and that people like you are coming here.
Thank you.
It's just part of our city's ascension.
Right.
Its rightful place as a global capital. And for that, we need to have legitimate service providers who do a great job.
Yeah, I think, Miami Beach, downtown, Brickell, Midtown, they've become these kind of melting pots for people all over the country, right? And I think that ascension into kind of what is going to be the new Miami, right? The city of the future, right? We've got to start changing the ways of the old.
And I think it is changing. And
Yeah.
I think this is a great example.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you very much for being here.
Yeah,
Check out his website, everybody.
ppmiami.com.